G'day guys! In the last few weeks I've been working on a complete setup, the complete kit that I can make available for you guys to purchase. And I want to make sure that it's got all the capabilities of the DIY version. And that means the ability to adjust the speed. So what I've been doing is I've been working on prototypes of various components like the top section, the mount, as well as the bottom components such as the base itself with possibly suction cups. I've got to go through the process of making those prototypes, testing them, and then sending off to a manufacturer to make the mold. In the process of making all the prototypes, I've had to purchase a 3D printer, so I've been printing a lot of stuff. And one of you guys actually said to me in one of the videos, could I print a spring? And it made me think, like, is it possible to print a spring? So this week I decided to find out, can I print a spring? Now guys, I didn't think it would be that challenging to print a spring, but I was wrong. My first attempt ended up with bits and pieces. And this is polycarbonate, a high temperature type of material. And it just crumbled. I had to go to something like nylon and possibly nylon with carbon fiber. So last week I ordered some nylon with carbon fiber. Now the first component that I printed with nylon and carbon fiber is this thing here. This is a spring mount to go into the 3/4 inch pipe. This component originally I made using PLA. I printed using PLA, and I made this available to you guys to be able to print for yourselves. And you can see the difference there. I made it really thick for PLA because PLA is not really that strong compared to nylon and carbon fiber. And so far this has held up really well. Now before I went and wasted a whole bunch of material on a spring that may or may not work, I decided to print a scaled down version just to see about flexibility. Will it be flexible? Will it actually work the way a spring naturally works? And this is it. Scaled down version. Now I made it so it just screws onto a 1/2 inch pipe, and a 1/2 inch PVC pipe will go on the top. I'm going to plug it in and check it out. So that goes in there, and just testing it just like that, bending it back, it actually works. So I'm impressed. But I went a little bit further and made a little speed ball. I'll just put it there, and it sort of works. A little bit slow, but that's really all I wanted to prove. I wanted to prove that this can actually work. So, nylon with carbon fiber spring works. Let me just punch this thing. Okay, so I've just clamped it in place with a butterfly hose clamp. Let's try it out. Alright, it's nowhere near the power of a proper spring, but now it's time to see if I can increase the scale and make a bigger version of this. Here it is, guys. Check it out. Now I made the bottom with a thread suitable for a 3/4 inch pipe. I've made all the adjustments to compensate for the shrinkage. But for some reason, I don't know why, I've left the top just enough for a 1/2 inch pipe. I should have made that bigger. Nevertheless, that's the spring. Man, it took 2 days to print this, and it took half of the material. So I don't recommend you printing it. In fact, I'm not even going to offer this as a design for you to download because I don't want you wasting your money or your time on this thing. However, let's see if this actually works. Okay, so I'm going to place this bottom. Now, how easy is this? How crazy is this? I'm going to try it with this DIY speed bag that I've made in my last video. And I've just made this sort of like an adapter. How's this? That's actually not bad. That's very close to the Pro Spring. Now, the top here is very light, so it doesn't have the same momentum as the leather bag one. I'll do that in a second, but first, I want to try this out with some gloves. It's quick. It's pretty quick. It's pretty fast. Probably doesn't have the same flexibility as the steel spring, but it actually works. Yeah, I'm actually quite surprised. I did not expect this to work. In fact, I expected it would break. Okay, it's time to try the leather speed bag and see how this performs in place of this. Let's try it out. That works. It works. I'm kind of worried about pulling it too far. I'm going to put some gloves on. Alright, let's try it out. Sort of waiting for it to just snap off. Now, I'm already surprised it's actually working. It doesn't have the same springiness. It doesn't go back and forth as many times because there's fewer coils compared to the steel spring. So it's not the same. The dynamics. Well, there you go, guys. That didn't last. Anyway, I think I'm going to give up at this point. That was just a test to see if it's possible. It is possible, but at what expense and to what extent? As you can see, that's just snap. Well, that's the end of that. So, stick around, stay tuned, tick the bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video.